I asked Eric when in an operating session, what is the process for getting trains operating? You know, which train goes first, next, and so on. You know, and he explained to me that he's got a dispatch board and pick up your written train orders. So I'm questioning how the train orders work. You know?
So I was just saying, this is still a mess from my last operating session. It normally doesn't get straightened up until my next one, and I rewrite some train orders or whatever. But basically, I keep it pretty low tech. The fellows choose the job that they want to do. They pick up an engine and caboose for the train that they want to run. I don't care which engine and caboose. And then they follow the directions or the orders on the individual train cards about picking up cars or dropping up cars. My only rule is the waybills always follow the car. Now I don't actually bother writing anything on the waybills, but the cards follow the car.
Okay.
I don't care where they put the car, as long as the waybills follow the car.
Okay.
And when they're done the job, they return the car to the board, turn it over.
Oh, okay.
So this car would be now like this. So now that was job, train 1 was done. Now we got train 1A.
Okay.
And it'll be another job for another guy to pick up an engine. And that local, that's
so
just
he's in Perth Yard anyway now.
He's in Perth Yard. Another guy may choose
to
pick up that local
or not,
and distribute those cars to wherever they're going.
Okay. And why did you say you didn't want to write anything on the waybills? Just you didn't get around to doing it yet, or?
Yeah, I don't see the value of it particularly.
Okay.
You can do it, but I find I'm still moving cars from A to B and back again without writing anything on the waybill. So
I know it's like a kind of an imagination thing. The car goes beyond the layout type thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Perth Yard, is it, sorry, I'm new on your layout, so Perth Yard is over there?
That's the main yard.
That's the main yard over there? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, that's good.
And so, I guess basically that's it. Initially, I was, on my train orders initially were specific engines were assigned to specific trains. And I had specific directions. You can go in multiple directions on the layout, east and west and whatever. I was telling them to go even certain tracks. Take the Bolingbroke main, take the Superior siding, all this. It became too complex. I tell the guys, when they've picked up their train, take the train for a run before they go. Just don't go from A to B. If you can, take the train for a run on the main.
Who manages, okay, so let's say I'm new here.
Yeah.
I've got the train, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I've never operated.
Right.
Do I need a coach to run me through the first time around? Because I have no idea how to get to Perth.
For the first couple of times, the first couple of loops, I would probably, you'd be the new fellow, I'd be your brakeman, you're the engineer.
Yeah.
I'll throw any turnouts and explain any idiosyncrasies, but basically most fellows catch on to it fairly quick, because basically it's just a dog bone layout.
Yeah. But even that, I thought it was a fairly complex track work to get around the loop there, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with it, it's not like a straight line.
No.
Read the diagram type thing.
Correct. Okay. But anyways, I would coach the person
once
until
you
they're
get
comfortable.
coached, so it's like any railroad.
And then, while I'm aware that you have a clock, a time parameter, I don't.
The time is more like, in my case, a guide, you know, for the guys to departure, because the way it operates.
The first time I was over at your place, Michel, you gave me my operating orders and you said, you better hurry, you're 15 minutes late already.
That was just to tease you as usual, you know, you just crank the guy up.
That's right. So basically that's how we operate.
Okay, that sounds...
And, but what I do like...
I like the simplicity, tell you the truth. Like, you know, I really like the simplicity of it, you know, like I'm a little concerned personally, like, you know, about knowing where to go. You know, so maybe I'd feel better if I had a little plan, maybe, of the layout would tell me if you go from here, Lanark, to Perth, this is the route you follow. And, you know, with the little diagram. You know?
Yeah, it's been suggested even
Is
by
it good?
my crew about, well, my crew doesn't need it, but the new guys that come in, somebody off the spare board.
Yeah.
Well, I got this idea from Norm Levere the other night at Ovar, Michel, and I had the hot box and dragging equipment detectors here in the layout, but they weren't really doing anything. They were just part of the scenery.
Yeah.
Norm said, well, make them part of your operations. Put a little card system so that any time a train goes by, the detectors that the train operator picks up a card out of the box here, and it'll say hot box detector, no problems, proceed, or a few of them will say hot box detector, axle 12 hot, drop car ASAP.
So the conductor's got to come down, stop the train, conductor come down, count the axles, walking down the train.
Exactly.
And then take that car, that specific car out.
Drop it at a siding or spur track someplace, wherever he can. So we're going to see. We haven't done it on an op session yet, so we're going to see how obtrusive it is into the session. I'm hoping a guy can say, not every, I mean most of the cards there's no problem. There's the odd one, but it just may influence a little bit, put a little bit of a
there was an article in one of the model railroaders about this, like throwing some unexpected events into the operating session so that you can sort of create a little bit of different action, exactly. It forces people to react differently. The dispatcher has got now to figure out the new, what you call traffic plan, and everybody else has got to sit around and say, oh, what are we going to do now, and figure out. But some, well, that's a good idea.
It'll be interesting to see how it works. Normally it's sort of a prototypical thing, which I like. Normally the only delays in an op session, or you're well aware, is a guy misthrowing a turnout and derails a train or shorts the system out.
Human factor.
It's a human factor, so.
Well, here I don't see that's too much of a problem. I'll tell you why, because you've got a couple of sidings right nearby.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem, you dump the car in the nearest siding. So the nearest siding is, so you might get a delay of something like 10 actual minutes.
Right.